All right, people, we are on our virtual wine tasting 43, and we're coming back to the Judgment of Paris. Now, for those of you, I would highly recommend, if you haven't seen the movie, watch Bottle Shock. It's kind of a docutainment uh, movie about the Judgment of Paris, and but before we kind of get into the event, it's a pretty momentous event. Uh, we really kind of have to talk about the countries that were, well, that are actually being competed from. So first place that we're kind of wanting to talk about, well, both from France, is our French old world wines, and the two places that we're getting our stuff from. So our white comes from here over in Burgundy, and our red is over here in Bordeaux. Now, here's the thing though, is that compared to Napa, which is at about 37 degrees latitude, or 37 degrees north, taken in perspective, Bordeaux here is at 45 degrees north. So much more farther north. It's more on the Oregon, Washington border. And Burgundy is on the 47th latitude. So that's more almost like the US Canadian border, and Maine. So, I mean, it's a fair bit colder than, say, somewhere like Napa. Now, the first place that we're going to be kind of going a little bit further into, so, is Burgundy. So this is the white that we have. And in particular, the place that we're going to be looking at is Côte d'Or, which is our Patrick Javillier. And since, well, we couldn't actually get the wine, or the white wine that from France that came the closest to winning, I tried to go for the same sub-region. So out of the Côte d'Or is a very particular place called Meursault, and that's where our first wine of the night is going to be coming from. Now, this area that you see here, they only produce a white that's Chardonnay, and that soil is a mix of this Kimmeridgian clay, which is like fossil marine clay, and limestone. And take note of that, because it will impart some kind of distinct flavors to that wine. Lower tiered wines through here don't use oak, but some of the top tier Grand Cru will. The next place that we're looking at is Bordeaux. So specifically the left bank. So it's this region right here, which is kind of held as in higher regards than its right bank neighbor. Mostly in terms of they have what's kind of considered really the really good Cabernet. You won't really find much Cabernet on the right bank, and but it's not the reason why you only see like Bordeaux Rouge, because it almost always is a blend of the red grapes. So it's, for the left bank, it's a majority Cabernet, so it'll be like 55, 60, 75% Cabernet. But then it will mix in some Merlot, Cab Franc, Petit Verdot, and some Carmenere, all of which are allowed to be blended in. Now, a fairly distinct aroma and flavor profile for left bank Bordeaux is pencil shavings. It'll be kind of like a woodsy graphite. And, some of you, it'll take you back to elementary school. Now, the last place, well, our contender, is Napa. And, it stretches all the way from down here in the San Pablo Bay to Mount St. Helena, way up north. And, well, just a quick little history of Napa is that if you've ever heard of Robert Mondavi, he's kind of the great grandpappy of the area. Built a vineyard and winery back in the 1960s. with pretty much a desire to compete on the world stage instead of just making local table wine, and created enough kind of like marketing to pull a lot of aspiring winemakers to set up shop in that area. Now, the wine from here can be, can vary quite a bit. It's from, kind of in the south, it's more kind of flat and warm in that Carneros area, making for like juicier grapes, while those that are up north in St. Helena and Calistoga tend to be higher elevation and more acidic because of that cooler climate. And the two areas for the Judgment of Paris that we'll be looking at for Napa, one is Calistoga. That's where our Chateau Montelena is. And our second is over here in the Stag's Leap district, which is, well, we have Stag's Leap Winery. Now, on to the actual event itself. So what we have is, I guess I lost the picture of him. One sec. Let me pull up Mr. Spurrier.
No.
And okay, so there is Mr. Stephen Spurrier. Now, this guy is a British wine expert. What was weird, though, is that he ran a small wine store in France and was highly regarded for its philosophy of encouraging customers to taste wine before buying. He started the l'Académie du Vin, which is France's first private wine school, which influenced a lot of wine personalities, including Charles Shaw, namesake of our beloved Two Buck Chuck. Now, he, much like everybody in the wine industry in those days, held that French wines were in a class above all the rest, and was very dismissive of claims that any other region could even remotely compete. So in 1976, he organized a bunch of French wine judges to do blind tastings of some of the Premier and Grand Cru of France against some of the best that Napa had to offer. Now, take note that Premier Cru and Grand Cru are some of the best of the best. Like, you can't find bottles for under $300 for that kind of quality. So, us getting ones that are in the like $50 to $80 range, it's not of the same caliber, but it's pretty darn close. But what happened, though, was when all the tallies came out, as you can see from the scores of these 9 judges, or the 9 judges that did this, Chateau Montelena won against all the others in Chardonnay, and Stag's Leap won against some of the top Cabernet Sauvignon. So, I mean, not sure if you notice any, prominent names, but Mouton Rothschild, that's like one of the big ones. Chateau Montrose as well. Now, due to a Times reporter being there and promptly revealing those results to the world, it instantly made Napa famous. And unfortunately, Stephen Spurrier got banned from France's prestigious wine tasting tour for a year because of this. Now, since then, there's been recreations of so these same wines, same vintages, the 1973s, 1972s, those same vintages 2 years later. So again, first tasting, 1976, they did it again with these same vintages 2 years later, just to see if anything changed. They also did it again in 1986, same vintage, and again in 2006. So all of those, but they were still tasting these 1972, 1973 vintages. Funny thing is, Napa still won every single time. Different wineries won, but Napa still won. Now, my own thoughts on why Napa won is kind of twofold. First is that judges, which for the most part are sommeliers, crave novelty. And after you've been drinking nothing but astringent and tightly grippy left bank Bordeaux's and, kind of astringent or just acidic, Burgundy whites, having those, and then all of a sudden, so again, with the Bordeaux, if you then have like a big, bold, darkly juicy Napa Cab, it's going to set your tongue on fire because of that New World fruit bomb that sets itself so differently from Old World wines, which is going to be one of the things that we compare between the whites. And if you actually do have two glasses with you, it might be even better to pour two, and then you can kind of go back and forth to really taste that difference. Now, second, for those of you that have been on wine tasting flights before, or well, all of these virtual wine tastings, that how we typically go through our tasting list is we go from the lightest wine to the heaviest one. And the reason for that is that the heavier wines will fatigue your palate more than, far more, and you're going to potentially lose some of the more subtle notes in like a Pinot Noir if you just got done drinking like a chewy Malbec. And so with a blind tasting, all of those red wines and the white wines, they all get kind of mixed up. And well, Old World are known for being a little bit less heavy than New World. And so say if one of the New Worlds started first, the Old Worlds all of a sudden just kind of seem not as I don't know, bright and flavorful. And the only thing that will actually kind of like reignite those taste buds again is an even bigger New World wine. So that's kind of the judgment of Paris in a short little nutshell.
Do we want to have two glasses?
I mean, that's it. It's really up to you. If you don't know, or if you've never really experienced Old World versus New World, and you want to have like that side by side where you're like sip, 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 so that you can kind of tell, oh, this one actually, because tasting it by itself, you're going to get a lot more, you're going to say, oh yeah, this one's got pear and apple, and this other one, oh yeah, it's got pear and citrus. But then when you compare them side by side, without like a huge break in between, you'll notice that the New World, more than likely, sometimes not, but more than likely is going to have a lot more fruit involved comparatively to the Old World. The Old World's going to have, a little bit more like flinty honey, while a New World, you're almost always going to get some type of fruit involved, that's going to be like front stage.
Okay, well, I'm going to grab another glass.
All right.
You go, Kendra.
So, any questions on that? I mean, one of these times, if no one's actually seen Bottle Shock, we might just have to do a viewing party while we drink.
It's an awesome movie. I like your theory on why they like the California ones better. I think that's really interesting.
Yeah, I mean, as soon as I started seeing the lineup, I was like, and yeah, because I've just done so many tastings that, I mean, it's kind of the reason why we do a lot of, or some of the things that you have with like at a wine tasting is some kind of sparkling water and some little crackers, just to completely cleanse your palate. But even then, it'll still, kind of fatigue itself. On that note, let's go ahead and pour our first wine of the night, which is our Patrick Javillier Bourgogne Côte d'Or, Cuvée des Foguets.
So Richard, we couldn't find that, so we got a Bourgogne Chardonnay, Bernard Moreau et Fille.
Okay.
We got that same region.
Is it from the Côte d'Or, like Marcel?
Yes, it is.
Perfect.
And I have plenty of red lines, so I think the eggplant. That's good.
All right. So as we're looking at this guy,
I'm just doing this
so it's definitely got the pale yellow, but it almost has a slightly green tinge to it. Unless anyone wants to check my eyes. But
No, I see it. A little greeny.
When you look at it against the white light,
Oh, yeah.
it really stands out there.
all right. So now
Yeah.
let's go ahead and give it a swirl and a sniff.
Done a swirl.
And what are people getting on the nose?
Oh.
So Damon said apple.
Apple. Okay.
And somebody else thinks pear.
Yeah, I'm definitely getting pear.
And I got these water tables.
Anyone getting pineapple?
No. Yeah, I'm not getting a lot.
Astringent.
And then the other kind of note to always kind of look for from any of your Eastern French white wines is, do you notice any like wet stone, like slate, shale?
Stone.
All right. Well, let's give this thing our first taste of the night. So, cheers.
Okay. Ooh.
That's good.
Like, I approve.
Yes.
So it's like, I don't know, there's like a light sweetness to it, but it's not overbearing. I get a lot of pear.
Yeah. This is definitely on that kind of like yellow apple, Asian pear.
Yeah. Not a lot of lemon, not like a Pinot Grigio.
No. Which is pretty typical for, I mean, Chardonnays are almost always, like the two main fruits will always be like apple and pear.
Okay.
Nice. Who's that going? All right. Well, let's go ahead and thing a bit of some noms and speak out if you've got some good pairings with this. I can already imagine. I've got some Castelvetrano olives here, and I already know that these things are going to be good.
We have salad, we have scampi, we have several kinds of cheese. We also have buff bourguignon, but I'm not going to try that with this.
How's it with licorice?
All the liquor.
prepare everything with the fridge.
Oh, is that right?
Oh yeah,
Oh, yeah.
everything.
Don't like I have. I need to get another few bags of flippers because it does sound fun with the reds.
With salad, it kind of brings out the green.
Yeah, it actually has a lot more green properties to it than I was expecting.
Mm-hmm.
What kind of cheese do we have?
Goat.
Yes.
So we have a mushroom brie and a herby brie.
This is the mushroom.
No, this is the mushroom.
Hmm.
Richard, what else are you trying it with?
So one of the other things that I got was a poke bowl.
Oh,
So like some avocado and some tuna is also going pretty wonderful with this. But yeah, no, this here is like the perfect. I don't know, to me, you know, the French whites are like the best with some type of shellfish seafood.
Mm-hmm.
You know, the only thing that I kind of wishing I had gotten was like a couple of shelled oysters.
Oh yeah, that would be good. The scampi's good.
Mhm.
Tomatoes are from us,
Oh, cool.
so they're super awesome.
Kinder, what are you trying it with?
A Triscuit.
Delicious, amazing biscuit.
Yeah, it's actually pretty good.
Eat the olive oil. What is it?
Nope, it's just a plain Triscuit.
Triscuit flavored Triscuit.
That's right.
That was surprisingly good.
This was the French one, right?
Yes, this is the French one.
Okay.
Okay.
But it's very light, and it really is very food friendly.
Mhm.
I'd say there's definitely no fighting of it in the food.
I mean, but that also kind of goes with kind of the French philosophy on wine, which is basically that wine is no different than, say, pepper in terms of, you know, it accentuating, you know, food, and food accentuates the wine. But how's everyone's glasses looking? Are we about ready to move on to the next?
I saved some so we can compare.
Oh yeah, no, that good idea. Well, you know, it might be best to kind of, I don't know, leave that till the end. But at the same time, you know, going through all the reds and then going back to white.
Right. If I leave it till the end, I've only got 2 glasses. I would need to go get 2 more.
Fair enough.
So should I
Okay.
start Montelena?
I still see a few glasses with wine in it. But, wow, Tom, your audio is a little not great.
It was much older.
I know it.
Hey Richard, can you say that again? Was that our audio, Rod?
No, Tom.
Oh, okay.
Have the French one with the, or even like the color and the.
Color's different.
spicy. Nuts in the salad are really good.
All right. We are moving on to our 2019 Chateau Montelena. Now, personally, I mean, I'll say that I after seeing Bottle Shock, I kind of made it as a bit of a pilgrimage to actually go there. And it's a kind of beautiful place. Not sure if you see that, but there is the front of Chateau Montelena.
And this is in Napa?
Yeah, it's way up north, over in Calistoga, but it is a great place, and they are very proud of their winning, and so yeah, when you go belly up to the bar, it right there is Bottle Shock, and also like a laminated time cover of the Judgment of Paris.
Have you seen the movie?
I will. Yeah, you copied.
Alan Rickman is the UK guy.
Yeah, well, and that is the thing, is that so Steven Spurrier was asked about what he thought of the movie, and he hated it. He said like everything was taken completely out of context, but but I don't know how many complaints I would have if Alan Rickman was playing me. But
No, that's the movie.
but unfortunately, Steven Spurrier passed away a couple of years ago.
Yeah.
But well, in his honor, let's go ahead and judge our Chateau Montelena.
Absolutely.
All right. As we're looking at this one, this one's still kind of in that pale yellow, but it's a little bit deeper than.
It's a little more golden is what we noticed.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I don't really see any of the green that
Nope.
we saw in the
I'm
front.
seeing a little bit
You
of
see a
green.
little green?
Yeah.
All right.
That's the dude with California.
All right. Well, let's go ahead and give this thing a swirl and a sniff.
You're wearing a green shirt.
Huh.
Yes.
All right. So what are everyone getting on the nose?
So we're saying we're not getting a lot.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Like
Really?
mossy or
Right.
cat piss a little bit.
You say moth-eating cabinet?
Mossy or like cat piss, I hate to say.
Oh, cat piss.
A little bit.
Trust me, no. I can't.
Not as good as the last one, that's all I'm saying.
I'm still interested to hear how campus smells like moss. That's an interesting.
No, those are the two things I could come up with. That's all.
Okay.
Like
all right.
it. Like it.
See, like me, I smell pear, but actually what's weird is like the main thing that I'm smelling, and maybe that's where you're getting the cat urine, is butterscotch.
I like butterscotch better than cat piss.
I think most of us do.
First smell I caught was shellfish.
Shellfish?
What's on your plate?
Yeah, well,
Because he has scampi still on his plate. I don't know.
so it's either that mild a nose, or
Yeah, this has a very mild nose, but like I said, me, I'm picking up like a lot more of that sweet. It's almost like it's very butterscotchy and honey.
It's getting kind of like a little floral-ish.
There's something sweet to it.
All right, well let's see if our nose passes onto our mouth. So, cheers.
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 Chateau Montelena. Oh, the one that almost wasn't.
It's a little bitey, isn't it?
mm,
But really a nice looking at it.
It tastes butterscotchy.
I need to take too much garlic in my mouth.
For me, just on like my tongue feel, this definitely feels more like acidic.
Mhm.
It's got a bite to it.
That's what she said. There was a bitey at the end.
It's got an aftertaste kind of, where the other one didn't have one.
Yeah.
I'm gonna go with that.
And yeah, that butterscotchy is like right after the fruit at the beginning. It all starts to kind of flow into almost like a candy apple.
Oh. Those are really briny.
I got a little green off of it, kind of a little herbaceous at the beginning. But also, I might still have a lot of garlic on my palate, so it's completely possible that is what I continue to taste.
Me too. Yeah, potatoes.
Interesting. Sounds like one.
Did you do potatoes au gratin?
I did rosemary, garlic, potatoes in the
Oh.
oven.
Ah,
That would be a really good pairing.
I want to see what your thoughts are on the Bordeaux with those rosemary potatoes, because I'm one of the other parts to left bank Bordeaux, just because again with it being kind of a cool climate cab. That's cool. That's some nice alliteration. Is because of it being in that cooler climate, it doesn't really ripen as much, and so it will also have a bit of this kind of like green note to it. And so I'm very curious to see how much that rosemary interacts with that wine.
Really good. So,
But I guess let's go ahead and see if any of our things pair well with this one. And then remember to, if you have multiple glasses, to then try to do a side-by-side comparison and see if you're able to kind of tell the difference between Old World, New World. Like Kendra, double fisting.
Double fisting.
Super brought out the peppery arugula in the salad. So interesting. Way more than the French one did.
Yeah, it stands up to whatever flavor you have better, definitely.
So the French one.
Strong flavors.
Agreed.
I've done a little bit of like talking to some people.
Wait, stop.
but not a
What's
lot.
happening
I'm
right
talking
now?
to people.
Well, Team Foodie decided to join us.
They're the licorice people.
Oh,
Well,
Didn't come
I did have you on mute, but I see you guys are. How far are you in? We're currently on Chateau Montelena.
Oh yeah, no, we're done. We have opinions. It's fine. We have to go. There's like, cause we're at Torg, so they have other events, and we were confused. It's fine. Whatever. We enjoyed it. We enjoyed the wines.
Very naughty.
So Rob and I went to Napa 3 weeks ago,
Mhm.
Yeah.
and got the Stag Sleep Cellars
And the Texas winery.
and this one, and are anticipating a lovely tasting later.
Okay.
But
they were touring.
Glad you were able to stop in and say hi.
We're part of the tour.
which are
yeah, no, we were like, we're ready, it's 5 o'clock and we're in mountain time. And then it was like, we're on the wrong time. We're not ready. And go ahead and eat and drink and it's going to be fine. So, sorry.
No worries. But
Was it?
I don't know if you've gotten.
Were the wines with licorice?
Please keep it. Yes, of course we have. We have 2 kinds of licorice. I have favorites, so it's fine. I will share them later in the group.
all right.
We'll put them in the chat. We can look at them later.
Oh, put it
Yeah,
in.
I'll be curious to hear what your opinions on who your winners were.
Hey, Ellen, put it in the chat and then we can read it later.
We will do that.
Awesome. Hey, Rob.
Hi, Katrina. How are you?
Good.
Hi, Sarah.
Oh, and then Kurt's here also.
Hey,
Kendra.
Sorry, we can't stay on too late.
Yeah, we have pretentious meats coming up soon. We're gonna get duck and bison and boar and
Stuff.
stuff.
I don't know. That doesn't sound that pretentious to a hunter.
What is Torg?
Twin Owls Regional Gathering,
Oh,
Nest Park, Colorado.
okay.
which is amazing. Like the view out our window is phenomenal.
Sure.
So where is
Show us the view.
Here we are.
Wow.
Oh,
Nice.
Yeah, it's lovely. It is lovely.
where is Twin Oaks? Is that Michigan?
No, we're in Colorado.
Okay.
Oh, okay.
We did go to the Stanley Hotel, which highly recommended. Do it.
Jennifer Jewel's song.
Love Garden of the Gods out there. Really stunning place.
It is stunning.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. Well, we just wanted to check in. Sorry we missed the time. We're
No worries.
what we are.
We'll go back to the regular in the next 3 weeks.
Okay, super. So it'll be in 3 weeks?
Yeah.
Do you know what it'll be?
Not entirely yet. I'm open for suggestions. You can post those along with your judgment.
Okay, will do.
All right.
All right, thank you.
How about a Somm movie tasting where we try to identify like what region something's from?
I
Maybe
mean,
the people that have been coming the whole time.
so well, we've tried that once in the past with like there was a company that would actually send you a box of like a blind tasting. Like the wines were all covered, and you just poured them. Except that I did not like the choices that they gave, because nothing was kind of standard.
They were trying to stump you. They were trying to stump you.
Yeah. Which was frustrating, because like the first Chardonnay that we tried, we nailed that it was Chardonnay, but we couldn't place whether it was American or French, because it had like really fruit forward apple and pear, which was like, okay, so this is American, but it was also done with like just the slightest amount of oak and not really much malolactic fermentation, which all of a sudden is like, okay, well this might be a French from like a warmer region because of it being a little bit more fruity. And then it turns out, no, it's a, you open it up and it says, it's an American, like California Chard. And then right at the bottom of the label, it says, done French style. Like, you bastard.
Stump you.
They were trick wines.
They want to discourage you from ever being a full sommelier.
Exactly. They're like, you can't do this. We're
It's like,
good.
no, that's not how you do a blind tasting. You want to be able to
Encourage-
identify. Yeah, you want to encourage people to be able to do a blind tasting successfully with
Yeah.
wines that are, that are done in like the classic method from that region. And
They're not.
what was that, Sarah?
Rob and Kurt said either Chilean or South African for next time would be our suggestions.
Okay. We haven't done South American or South African in a while, so
No, we haven't. It's been a while. It was fun.
yeah, some Pinotage and Chenin Blanc, I think should be in our future.
Oh, wow.
A little bit of both.
Well,
Okay, thank you guys. I'll see you later.
all right.
Hi, Ellen.
Bye.
Now, for those of you that have been, has anyone actually been doing the tastes back and forth to
Yeah.
try?
It's
Yeah.
really.
Did you notice a difference?
Oh yeah.
I like number 1 the best.
I'm not surprised, Kendra. It's your palate.
I actually like Chateau Montelena better, but I have some really powerful. I also have this pepper that's like almost spicy, hot, and I have a lot going on in my food.
So going back and forth between the two, the Burgundy actually almost tastes like almost like liqueur, or like vodka.
I thought the same thing. It tastes like it has more alcohol now that I'm going back and forth. It's really interesting
Yeah.
because it tasted so light when it was the first thing.
Yeah, but now that once you have the Chateau Montelena, where you've had that much more kind of fruit on your palate, there isn't much for this to compare against except for booze.
They definitely are very different, so I could see why one would stand out way more than the other.
Mm-hmm. But that's what I loved about about doing kind of like the Judgment of Paris, kind of thing, is where we compare. I mean, these are the same grapes. It's Chardonnay on New World and Old World, and it's really telling what those taste differences are, and that's part of a blind taste is being able to kind of determine this one is an old world or a new world based on some of those characteristics, like this one being much more fruity.
So they thought that the New World being number 1 was the one that was the winner?
No, number 2 was the winner.
Number 2 was the winner.
Yep.
Okay.
Kendra, you need to go to France. You'll be like, oh, I love all their wines.
Well, I'm going to Ireland in a couple of weeks, so if they have any wine, I'll be drinking it there.
I don't think there's any wine grapes in Ireland.
Guinness.
Guinness. Yeah.
We went to Chateau Montelena on my girls' weekend for my wedding. It was nice. It was one of the ones that people picked. It's a beautiful place.
Nice. And Scotland. I'll be going to Scotland, but I think they're just known for whiskey.
Both places are kind of known for whiskey. Well, I guess Ireland's also known for beer.
And whiskey. What's the other one? Probably whiskey.
It's all your winter wheat crops.
You have to go to the Guinness storehouse and the Oxygen bar that overlooks Dublin. Really nice.
Oh, nice.
Temple Bar is another famous place to go.
Okay.
All right. So we are hopefully ready for number 3.
And the book of
All right. So we're going to do a bit of a switch in the lineup. So I was looking at ratings between the two on like the tannins and kind of heaviness of each of the wines. And actually, the Stag's Leap was less than the Chateau Cantemerle. So we're going to be doing Stag's Leap first.
Okay, cool. So we have a different one. So we have Chateau Lanessan, but it is Au Medoc. There was only one that we could find that was Au Medoc. So.
Okay. That should be fine. But as long as you have Stag's Leap.
So that's
Stags. I was like, we have to.
Yes. So 4 instead of 3.
okay.
No. We have, right. So we're doing 4 first, right?
Yep.
4 first.
He went to the.
That guy's dark.
My dad was like, "Kidding me?" But they didn't have
Wow, that's really dark.
I had to get mine at wine.com. They didn't have it locally.
Funny, I went to
Which the Stag's Leap Cab?
Actually, yep. I got everything else at Total Wine though.
That is interesting. Because, I mean, Stag's Leap is pretty nationally distributed.
Yeah, yeah.
I think it may be overly popular, and that's why she had to get it from somewhere else.
Well, this I mean, that's the weird thing is that, well, I don't want to say weird, but I mean, for a $50 bottle, I mean, this thing being kind of like rated a 4.3 on Vivino was kind of amazing. Like, this is a bit of a unicorn, because usually if it's like a sub 100, you will not see it go over like a 4.1.
Yeah.
So in terms of color,
Very dark.
I mean, it's pretty opaque on that kind of like dark ruby. It's almost into purple, but not quite. It's still got a little red on the rim.
the color.
But I do see it does have that rim that we look for.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Well, they're fast, aren't they?
Oh, please.
All right, so let's go ahead and give this thing a bit of a swirl.
This is the first one, Richard, where I've actually really noticed what you call legs. We've done wine tastings where you tried to tell me the legs and I just couldn't tell. So this one I can tell.
Oh yeah, these things are coming down like slow and thick. So this thing's probably pretty high on the ABV.
I know pretty thick.
These are
14.2.
And you guys have 2018, right?
No, we have 2019.
Okay, I do too. Good.
Yeah.
So we match.
I like it.
It's the 125th anniversary.
So let's give this thing a sniff and see what we got on the nose. Stands ahead of us. Ooh.
Like blueberry.
Yes.
Mm,
Ooh, blueberry.
Oh, you're getting blueberries.
it's different. Yeah, it's for
You just, I don't want to just.
Yeah, I guess I could see blueberries. I mean, for me, it's all black fruit.
Yeah.
I mean, this is full of like blackberries, a little black currant, but then there's like some kind of, I wouldn't quite call it like baking spices.
Well, but I do
A little bit of leather.
Yeah, leather.
Yeah. Is anyone getting like coffee?
Not really.
Okay.
Only when you
Not
say
really.
coffee, I'm like, maybe.
Yeah, I'll go with maybe, but
I drink my coffee today.
Okay. Yeah, I'm just trying to, I guess it's more about gauging, like how much oak these things are probably seeing.
Right.
Well, let's go ahead and give this thing a taste. So, cheers.
Hopefully.
We started with French. And now we're starting with
Because it the key So fruit at the front and very smooth finish.
Mm-hmm. Getting any different flavors from what was, you were smelling?
really well blended fruits.
Mm-hmm.
It's very fruit forward, but not like individual. They're all blend. It's all
Yeah, it's just a black fruit, fruit medley.
yeah.
Yeah.
But maybe it's in that same realm as leather, but to me, this tastes like sweet leaf tobacco.
No, I was trying to put it, I was like, it's not petrol-y, but it's got those kinds of notes.
It's not giving me
Mm. But this is definitely a much warmer, cab,
Oh, yeah.
Yeah,
or warmer weather cab.
Oh.
Which, if you've ever been to, the Stag's Leap district, it's fairly warm down there.
So is this a New World or an old?
This is New World.
So this
Stag's
is
Leap-
a California, Oregon, Washington thing.
Yep.
Okay.
This is from Napa, California.
Okay.
We were supposed to be out there last week, but there's a lot of fires in the area.
Oh,
Well, hopefully they don't have like another bout of smoke taint. That
That's
would
why
suck.
we finally left Montana because it was like there's only 2 weeks a year we could actually use our property out there. It's like winter for 6 months, and then like summer is all fire season, and yeah.
Oh. In preparation for knowing that we were going to have some pretty high quality red wines, I broke out of my freezer some of my I don't know if you've ever heard of it, Rogue Creamery.
Oh yeah.
oh, yeah.
They make pretty much the world, like actual world's best blue cheese.
Really?
And yeah, I picked it up at Whole Foods, but I'm hoping that it goes really well with this.
Love Tillamook up there too. Is really good.
Oh yeah.
It's in the office.
They finally started selling that in Publix here in Florida. Tillamook.
Office.
Oh, that is delicious.
It is so good with the beef bourguignon. It's just like amazing.
It is. Outstanding. All the earthy
Yeah,
elements, right? The onions, the mushrooms,
yeah.
fabulous.
Interesting with the mushroom brie.
oh,
Oh, I haven't had it.
okay, that's a good idea.
This one is the herb fragrance, and I have that there.
Richard, what do you have to go with your reds?
So, well, along with the poke bowl, I went over to my nearby Mediterranean deli market and got some beef kebabs.
Okay.
And so that, and since they also slide on, both onion and bell pepper, that's really kind of, it's actually bringing out a little bit of that vegetal note to it that really wasn't there before.
Interesting. So it does not stand up to Danish blue cheese.
No.
No?
Yeah. Uh-huh.
No,
Uh,
nothing.
like
It's just the blue cheese. There's nothing from the wine.
And
It's
that's
so weird.
And not the herbery either.
yeah, the Rogue Creamery, Oregon Blue is it's not as blue as like a Danish blue.
This is,
And that's the blue.
It's just a lot more creamy, but wow, it's actually going really well with this. But I can see why like a regular blue or how a regular blue would be a little too punchy.
Yeah, it's just so weird because usually I love blue cheese and wine, but that's not a good pairing. No. So there it is. I mean, we're gonna try chocolate later. We have like 3 different kinds of chocolate, so we'll see what.
Oh yeah.
Always a good choice too.
I know. Well, I got orange chocolate to go with the whites, and then I've got like a cinnamon cayenne chocolate, and then I have like a cherry chocolate. So we'll see.
Oh, nice. I love that. We were just in Iceland and they have really good chocolate. You'd be surprised.
Really?
I
Because
did not know that.
European country, even though it's on the Arctic Circle, so they do chocolate well.
It's just you're the first person that's ever bragged about any food product from Iceland. Usually people.
They have a lot of like disturbing foods, like they eat puffins and sharks and
Yeah, I was
Peter
gonna
person
say.
would be like, oh my god, this is awful here. But
Yeah, like
They have a
the
good
only thing that I know
lobster
of is Hakarl.
yeah, they have a good lobster soup that's like buttery, creamy, and if you get it in the right places, it varies definitely. But they have a nice walking street, just like most European cities, and we like that area.
Anytime that you have to like bury, what you find washed up on the shore for like 6 weeks in the dirt in order for it to like putrefy enough for you to eat it.
Well, I'm not sure
That's a big nope for me.
there. It's more like an island where you pay a lot of money to get stuff imported. That's more like what it is.
Yeah, no, I mean, I don't know if you've ever heard of Hakarl before.
I've heard of the shark, the petrified shark, and everyone who eats it says it's disgusting, and I wouldn't eat shark anyway because they're misunderstood.
Well,
So
it's this like basking shark, or I can't remember what the other type of shark, but it's like these like giant, ones that are, but apparently are full of like urea.
Very well.
That's like it's like super poisonous to eat right away. So apparently the Vikings would dig a hole in the beach and throw this shark in it and bury it for like 6 weeks and let it like essentially rot. But it would also
which made sense back then, right? Yeah. I didn't know much of that Viking history. It was actually very interesting to go to because we haven't really explored Scandinavia much, and it was pretty interesting. Went to the Viking Museum and all that kind of stuff there, and learned about how they, basically all the good shit was taken in Norway, so they moved over to Iceland. And
Really? Wow.
but we did the Ring Road tour, and it was like a road trip. We would kind of wanted to go cheap this time, and just kind of drove ourselves around the island and took pictures. So it was neat place.
Nice.
How long did the ring road take?
It took us about 10 days, and we kind of wish that we had thrown a few extra days in there because we kind of go at it really rough, and then by the end of the vacation, we're like, oh my God, we needed more rest. So I definitely would have liked, you could skip the whole north part of the island. There was not much going on up there at all. And it's kind of like cable TV where they give you a bunch of crappy channels and they give you like some that are really, really good. So the really, really good stuff is like the west coast and the south where all the glaciers are and stuff. So I would stick with the west and the south and I just wouldn't even go to the north. It just wasn't worth it. But it's good to explore it and find it out.
Nice.
Awesome feedback.
Yeah.
I see a lot of empty glasses out there. So
Yeah.
I think it is time to move on to our final wine of the night. So, our 2018 Chateau Cantemerle. Our Medoc.
Wow.
The real one. Oh, that one.
Yeah. I was hoping that on the back it would actually show us the mix
That is.
between them, but guess I'll have to do a little bit more research in order to find out exactly how much, Cabernet versus, well, any of the others, Merlot, Petit Verdot, Carmenere. But as we go ahead and give this thing a look, so
It sounds like a Bordeaux.
it's just as opaque, but this one actually has a little bit more red to it. It's actually kind of surprising. This one has a little bit more red than our Stag's Leap.
Ours is almost more brown.
Yeah, ours looks a little more garnety,
Okay.
but we have a different wine, so.
Still very dark.
Yes.
Yeah, still pretty dark, but for 2018, yeah, actually, now that you kind of mention it, like looking at the rim on it, it does have a little bit of that garnet to it. with a signifying just a slight bit of age.
It runs, but
It
then
runs,
if you
then
do
it-
another time,
Yep, then start coming down.
because actually this one's almost,
Our legs are much.
They're much closer together.
I don't know.
Yeah, these ones kind of run a little bit faster, a little bit.
Yeah.
Yeah. So this is more like a 13.2, 13.5, which is pretty typical for most French reds, compared to California reds where you start at like 14.
yeah, it's an interesting,
Let's see.
Empty.
What does it
wow.
actually say? 13.5. Yeah.
What's our alcohol level?
All right. So let's go ahead and give this thing a swirl and a sniff and see what we got in the nose.
Oh, this is
And definitely more old world.
16.
Yeah. A lot less fruit.
A lot less fruit.
Yeah.
I mean, it's there, but it is not.
No, not really, doesn't it?
It's not the main thing.
Smells like oak.
Tannins.
We can smell the tannins on ours. Ours is also 2016, just for.
Okay. So yours will definitely have less fruit than because I mean that is the thing about aging is fruit will continue to decline and everything else will kind of come to the forefront.
Damien said a little bit of leather.
Okay. Anyone getting into that kind of like stony graphite?
Our said it should have that. I don't know that I'm smelling that, but.
Okay.
I'm afraid to answer now that I said my content.
You're totally fine. I said one time when I was at a winery that the wine smelled like Band-Aids, and it turns out that's a thing. And
Oh
it's
yeah,
a
that's breading.
Really?
Yeah, Britannicus.
thing. Don't feel bad about any of your tasting whatever notes or your notes.
Well, I mean, me, I'm hyper like vigilant on if I smell any kind of like antiseptic latex Band-Aids,
That's the worst.
because to me that's a
Yeah.
fault that I hate.
Yeah.
But
Suggestion.
I don't know.
But you drink it anyway.
No. That's stuff I refuse to. But it's also the reason why I don't trust Robert Parker. Like if you ever see a rating by Robert Parker, and if you don't like Britannicus like I do, then he actually likes it, and some winemakers cater to that particular taste, and so anything that's rated by him that's a red wine, I avoid like the plague.
Oh.
Because I'm almost sure that it's going to have some breading to it.
Ooh, there's the sweet, a little bit of 40.
Yeah.
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 Well, let's see how this thing, see how our final wine
Okay.
tastes compared to our smell. So, cheers.
Just
Only smoother. Drier, maybe. Drier.
Ours doesn't have any finish,
Puckery.
but it has. I mean, it's very
Yeah.
mild. It just doesn't have a finish.
You said yours doesn't have any finish, because
No.
this one sure does.
I know. I wish we could have gotten yours. but we
Well,
couldn't.
the other one's so strong and bold, it's hard to compare.
Expensive one?
Well, I mean, again, from Vivino, the way that they had rated both the tannins and the boldness, that they actually rated this one higher, and so that's why I kind of flipped the two. But yeah,
But it's more tannic. I'm just.
yeah. If I had to do it over, I would probably flip them back.
But I'm just saying it's more tannic. I've got the teeth switching, so it definitely is more tannic. No
Yes,
question.
yeah. There's a lot more tannin. Like you can taste like the seed and twigs in this one comparatively to the other. Like it is still in my mouth. Like I can still taste that kind of like just woody tannins.
But ours doesn't have a whole lot of flavor. But I knew, Richard, we couldn't get anything that was close except this was the region. So
Sure.
it's also the difference between a $10 bottle of wine and a $60 bottle of wine.
Right.
We're comparing on a few different dimensions here.
Because that's what ours cost. It was like $10, so I wasn't expecting.
Yeah, I mean, this one I'm getting, you know, on the palate, I'm still getting a lot of those kind of like black currants and cherries. I want to say like a little vegetal, like comparatively to the last one where it wasn't there until you tried it with some food that had, you know, kind of like that green note. This I can definitely tell, and I'm not sure if that's also kind of, you know, and again, maybe it's in my head that again I'm tasting kind of that minerality graphite. But
no, it's
yeah. I'm hoping that some of the food kind of pulls out some of the other notes in this.
Pretty good.
But this is like, you know, the first one you can, you know, the bottles are like $5 a bottle, and then the idea is to get you hooked on the subscription and to see if you're.
Yeah.
I think first.
I still drink that Mayomi all the time from one of your other tastings, and I love
Mayomi,
it. My husband doesn't like it, but I love it. Yeah.
That's awesome.
Gave it to him the other day.
It's
Like,
a
I
Pinot
don't
Noir, that doesn't taste or drink like a Pinot Noir.
It's vanilla. I like the vanilla. Yeah.
So here's what I'm gonna say. This wine goes great with food.
Yeah.
It's not very beautiful. It doesn't fight with anything. It's because, so my friend Karina, who's here, I know Katrina and Karina, it's a weird story. But anyway, she was like, it's not a sipping wine. Ours isn't. It's just really good with food.
So is this. I just had it with some of that beef kebab, but I also threw in the, you know, a piece of the green bell pepper. And yeah, it actually really did kind of bring out a lot more of those green notes.
Really like it.
They taste a lot alike. I'm gonna say the number 4 was a little more smooth than the number 3.
Yep. No, I see what you're saying though, because for your palate, you really like not so much oak. You like it to be much fruitier. You like old world wines.
I love Bordeaux. Maybe. Love Bordeaux too.
Now, Diane, I did. What was that, Diane?
I think you should have a trip to Bordeaux, and we definitely come.
Well, I'm still crossing my fingers that my company is going to send me over to Europe, and then I plan on taking a month-long vacation and to just go through as much of wine country as I can.
Incredible wine and food destination, absolutely. Yeah.
Now, I did see in your post about the things that you have, and you have some of the, well, I'm not sure which. I think you have the Merlot Belvetano.
Me?
Yeah.
I got everything you said to get, and then I got the Stag's Leap.
No, like for your foods, like one of the cheeses that you got was the like Sartori Belvetano.
Love that. I love that cheese. Yeah. I haven't. I didn't eat it because I'm eating steak and potato.
Like I just had some of that Belvetano with this wine, and oh yeah.
I love that stuff. It's really good.
Yeah, for
like I was cutting down like for 6 months. I was like on a pre-planned diet where I couldn't eat anything. So I'm still kind of living it up, but I really have to go back on it. But
They don't drink wine.
Well, all right, peeps. Well, it is judgment time. I guess we'll go around, you know, and say like of the whites and of the reds, which was your favorite? So, Kendra?
Number 1 and number 4.
Okay, so you are definitely old world. Okay. How about the haze?
I think we like 2 and 3. We are New
New
World.
And the other ones are.
But we like the old world with food. That's what
yeah.
we're finding, is that paired better with food.
Yeah,
this time.
which that in itself, if you're judging and the only thing that you have is water and water crackers,
Right.
then you don't know how well things will pair with food.
I seem to be the only one that has one food, and that's Triscuit.
Well, there's not a lot of, I mean, you're comparing everything the same. Your palate is the same. It's one food.
I guess that's true. Everybody's got great dinners and stuff, and cheeses, and I have Triscuits. So.
Diane, what was
I
your
like 2 and 4, but I had really strong spices like garlic and that black pepper that was really dominating my palate. So
Okay.
those 2 wines really stood up to that. So
Okay, so yours was kind of a mix. That's
Yep.
interesting.
I like the Napa. Well, no, it was the Napa ones that I liked.
Yeah, the Napa. Because
But I love old world wines too. I mean, Bordeaux is my absolute favorite. So
because 2 and 4, so that would have been 2 would have been Chateau Montelena, and 4 would have been
Napa, Stag's Leap.
would have been the Bordeaux.
Oh, sorry, Stag's Leap is the one that I liked. So.
Okay, so 2 and 3.
You're with us.
So you're a new
Sorry
world.
about that.
Corey, how is your group?
So we are actually gonna say that we were a big fan of the old world Chardonnay, but then the Stag's Leap just like knocked it out of the park.
What
The
was
1 and 3.
What was the convincing thing with the Stag's Leap? Was it just the flavor, or was it like that you have some like food that all of a sudden it just went phenomenal with?
Just at least with the charcuterie board that we had, it paired very well with a majority of the meats that we had. Also the cheeses. But like I'm gonna say right now, the old world Chardonnay blew my mind. Like that was way better than any Chardonnay I've ever had.
Wow. So you don't
Like,
like
just
the lactin. You just like the fruit. It's awesome.
I felt like the second wine, the Montella or whatever it was called.
Montelena?
Yeah, the Montelena was very boring. It wasn't like very flavorful. So the old world actually like blew it out.
Oh, interesting.
Okay.
Do we have the same?
Well, and if you like that, yeah, one of these times we'll have to do like a Loire Valley, and see how well you like, like Sancerre and like the Chenin Blanc from way up north, because and even like trying to remember what the other ones are. But it's all just like pure, like shellfish, like perfect shellfish white wine.
Yeah, we don't. Are there?
Muscadet. That was the other one from Loire Valley. That's really good. I mean, me. Yeah, I actually kind of think I'm kind of in the same camp as Corey. I actually really like the old world, though. Again, when we did like the side by side tasting, that kind of almost convinced. Well, I won't say convinced me, but it's like going back to the old world was like all I could taste was almost like vodka.
Yeah.
And so like it by itself, excellent. Again, that would be something that I would have with some type of just big shellfish dish. But for the reds, yeah, I definitely have to give it to the Stag's Leap for just being just a good chewy, just good American red.
Mm-hmm. There you go.
So, well, I guess, I mean, we could try to.
And we'll go.
Tom, are you guys? I'm gonna guess your audio, is it working at all?
Spritz of the.
Yeah, I think we do.
Ah, there you go. Oh, you just have a different person / channel for it. But so, was there any consensus, or does everybody have like different opinions on which was their favorite red and white?
And I'm like,
I prefer the French for both.
No, hey, French, I think was the best hands down, both times. That's how I feel.
Oh,
Okay, American Chardonnay and then red. Oh, we're looking for seed.
Very much.
All right. Well,
As you can tell, folks, our dogs are all cheering for the French wine.
Grandma?
I know.
Mm.
on that note, I'm gonna go ahead and stop our recording. So I'm gonna wave goodbye to YouTube. So, see y'all.